totally clear. It's called neither perception nor non-perception. In other words, the mind goes into a state of utter peacefulness, but does not register the peacefulness. So it doesn't bring insight, the eighth one, but it brings enormous mental energy. Now this is another point which should be remembered, that the only way the mind gains sufficient energy in order to do the job of letting go of delusion, it really needs the peace and quiet of total absorption. That's where it gains its energy from. That's where it rejuvenates. That's where it finds the impetus. A jhana meditator cannot lose the impetus for the path if such a person continues to meditate. I think maybe I have said enough about the jhanas, and I would like to invite you to discuss, if you like. It seems that 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are the most common ones for path moments, but that doesn't rule the others out. Not at all. Any of the others are also possible. The path moment has the relationship to a jhanic state, but it also has an enormous difference. In all jhanas, we have an observer. In the path moment, we don't. And that's the enormous difference. The instructions which we find over and over again are like this, that after having come out, let's say, 4th jhana, just to use one of them, that the mind is imbued with the fact that only if one lets go of the delusion of self can there be peace. And since one wants utter peace, one wants to let go of delusion of self. Now that's a prerequisite that one wants to. Determination, there's an adhitthana. One makes a resolution. I want to let go. Now, letting go of that, one needs to recognize the fact that we have identifications. And if we have already let go of some of those, it may be a quick process. If it isn't, we need to let go of each identification that we have. I'm a monk, I'm a nun, I'm male, I'm female, I'm a meditator, I'm a jhana meditator, I'm a good meditator, I'm a nice person, I'm not a nice person, whatever it is. Letting go of every identification that we can find. Having done that, and having that really strong determination to let go of the delusion, and the mind at that time being not only malleable, flexible, and expansive, but being totally quiet and having no connection to worldly matters at that time. Then, becoming quite aware of the fact that in order to get rid of that illusion, one has to let go of all clinging. clinging to anything at all. And the mind will have to experience at least a moment of what is usually called non-occurrence. I call it the still point. The mind will have to experience a moment where nothing at all happens. Now, being determined to let go of all clinging and sort of clearing out the space in one's mind, letting it all fall away, then one can send the mind out, like I like to compare that to a carrier pigeon. Send it out to experience total stillness. If one has let go of clinging, it will do it. If not, it won't do it. The past moment, having no observer, cannot be described. The fruit moment has the observer. And the fruit moment is practically the same for everyone. It's a very distinctive happening, and whoever has had it will never forget it. And there's a very distinct and obvious emotions in it. One of the strongest emotions of the fruit moment is relief. Absolute relief. That's a very, very strong one. There are other emotions also, but that is a strong one. A feeling as if a burden has been lifted. Having had one fruit moment, past moments cannot be repeated. Fruit moment should be brought up again in one's recollection after jhana, because that brings one to the next one. It's a very brief account of what you are asking me. Is wrongly translated in the Buddhist dictionary, and it's translated, if I can remember correctly, as discursive thought, and what's the next one translated as? Continuous discursive thought, or something like that. Vitakka is initial application to the meditation subject and happens in every meditation. It doesn't matter whether it's a jhana or not. If you put your mind on the breath, that's vitakka. And vichara is continued application. And it's compared to ringing a gong. You hit the gong, that's vitakka. And it clings afterwards, and that's vichara. Staying on the meditation subject. Now in the jhana, the initial application in the first jhana goes to the delightful sensation, and then it stays with it. These are the two that we drop for the second jhana, because we don't need an initial application, because we have already had that, and the continued application is already assured if we are doing the work properly. If not, we might have to start over again. They are unfortunately wrongly translated, but it's not the only thing that's wrongly translated. So experience helps. Initial and continued application to the meditation subject. And initial application, the vitakka, is the antidote for our third hindrance, sloth and torpor. Logically, obviously. Every time we put our mind on the meditation subject, the mind cannot be lazy. And Vichara, continued application, is our antidote against skeptical doubt, because we gain a lot of confidence when the meditation works properly.
Question I have. What do you think is the greatest obstacle or reason why many people these days do not achieve jhana?
I believe, and that's a personal opinion again, I believe that the greatest obstacle is that they're not being taught. And then when they are being taught, which is rare enough, what I've heard is not exactly the way the jhanas work. But that's only hearsay. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I wasn't taught them. There was nobody anywhere around that had any knowledge of them. In fact, I remember my experience of the first jhana very vividly. I went to the person who was then my teacher and told about it, and he said, "Go back to the breath." And I knew that couldn't be right. I was old enough to know that he didn't know. So I continued. So I didn't have a teacher, but I found Venerable Rama to confirm it. And I believe that the greatest obstacle is that they're not being taught. I've had students, lay people, mind you, who had done these jhanas spontaneously years and years ago, and had looked all over the place trying to find somebody to explain it to them, and couldn't find anybody. And then when they were explained, they could do them really well. I mean, had done one or two of them. I think that's the greatest obstacle from my experience. You're perfectly welcome to argue with me. I have absolutely no worries or fear. If you would like to say something against what I've been saying, I'm quite used to it.
Could you tell us what you think about what become known as the reality level?
What I think about the teaching?
Is there any relationship between those levels and the jhana?
And what he's saying? Well, it's hearsay, what I know. I've just been told by one person, but three persons, who went over there, and one described something, what was it, vertical. And I said, well, I'm afraid that's got nothing to do with nothing. And the others were already convinced that it wasn't correct. So I can't really, I don't have the personal experience of what he's saying and doing. So I'm a little bit at sea. I can't really say it. Because I mean, if somebody this one person was talking about something vertical. Well, what's vertical about it? They're their emotions, their inner states, all of them. So I'm hard put to really compare. I can't. I knew the man when he was still a retired police president, before he was a monk. And we never discussed anything.